All right. Okay. I asked Grok a really good question. I said, what is the oldest complete or near complete manuscript found of the book of Daniel? And it's something in the Dead Sea Scrolls. You can read all of that. I'm not going to read that. But you can read it. So it's the Dead Sea Scrolls. So then I asked him, does the name Yahweh appear in this text? Does it? That's a good question, isn't it? I have a good question for you guys. Did you ever notice that the name Yahweh only appears in the ninth chapter of the book of Daniel? It's not in any other chapters. It's not in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 10th. How many 12 chapters are there? 12 chapters? Okay, the name Yahweh only appears in the ninth chapter, okay, in the Hebrew. You look it up in the Masoretic text. All right, or the Dead Sea Scrolls. All right, we're talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's pretty much the same, right? So the name Yahweh only appears in the ninth chapter. I'm going to hit you with something else. The book of Daniel is one of the only canonical, so-called canonical Old Testament books, right, that contains actual names of angels. This is a good point. Like Gabriel and Michael. Okay, it's Mike L. Gabriel. All right, because what is L? L is the name of a god. El was the god of the Phoenicians. El, Saturn El, Kronos, the father of Zeus, the father of Yahweh, the father of Yahweh. Okay, that's El. So Israel, Israel. See, El is in the name of Israel, not Yahweh. You ever notice that? How come Yahweh's name is not in Israel? Did you ever notice that? Yahweh's name is not in any of the angels. Did you ever notice that? I thought they were messengers of Yahweh, then how come his name is not in their name? Did you ever notice that? And they only appear in the book of Daniel pretty much, right? Well, they're in other books too. But let's check this out. But anyway, so yes, the name Yahweh appears in the ninth chapter. So Yahweh only appears in the ninth chapter. It's like, why? How come it only appears in the ninth chapter? Because usually in the book of Daniel, God is called, well, Eloi, right? El is like Allah. Allah. I don't know how you say it. El, Allah. That's where you get the word Allah from. All right. Yeah, right here. It says it right here. Can I highlight that? Yeah, it's right over here. You see it? Eloi. Well, that's where the word Allah descends from. It says, why is the name Yahweh only, I asked him, why is the name Yahweh only used in the ninth chapter? Okay, this is the premise that the name Yahweh is only used in the ninth chapter of the book of Daniel needs clarification, as this is not entirely accurate based on textual evidence. All right, let's go down here. In the Masoretic text, see, it does only appear in the book of Daniel in the ninth chapter. Look, it says use of Yahweh in the book of Daniel. It proceeds to list only scriptures from the ninth chapter. All right, thus in the Masoretic text, Yahweh appears 6 times in Daniel, all in Daniel 9. I'm trying to get to the point I've seen. Here it is too. The concentration of Yahweh in Daniel 9 can be explained by the following factors: literary and theological context of Daniel 9, prayer and confession. Or you can read that part. That's not what I'm looking for. Daniel 9 explicitly references the word of the Lord, Yahweh, to Jeremiah the prophet, citing Jeremiah's prophecy of 70 years of exile. So Jeremiah 9 is pretty much quoting the book of Jeremiah. Now, this is very important because the book of Jeremiah uses the name Yahweh. So this is very important. You think it's not important? It's important. Yahweh is used extensively, and Daniel's use of the name may reflect the dependence on Jeremiah's terminology, reinforcing the connection to the covenantal God who promised restoration. Yeah, because the covenantal God is Yahweh. The original God of the Israelites was El. And neither of them are the real God. All right. The formal confessional nature, yeah. Okay. Textual. I'm trying to find this other thing. Oh, here it is, right here. You can read all. I'm not reading all of this, am I? We can read it all. We can pause it. I'm gonna go to authorship and redaction. Now, when you're dealing with biblical text, a redaction is when something is added. And they edit the text and they add something. All right, just know that. Many scholars believe Daniel was composed or redacted in stages, with chapter 9 possibly reflecting a later Hebrew composition tied to the Maccabean period. See, the use of Yahweh in this chapter may reflect a deliberate choice to align with earlier prophetic traditions like Jeremiah, or to emphasize covenant theology during a time of crisis. Yet, what does that mean, covenant theology? The blood covenant. Moses took the blood and sprinkled it upon the people, said, behold, the blood of all the words of the Lord is spoken. That's when he made the deal with the devil. He made a blood covenant with the devil. It's not like L's any better. I mean, you got to sacrifice children to L. So what's the big difference? Avoidance of Yahweh in other chapters. Yeah, how come he's not in all the other chapters? Why doesn't it say? Because it's clearly a redaction. It's like it's clear when I'm reading. It's like, why is Yahweh only in the 9th chapter? That has to be a redaction. Because somebody, they didn't like that Yahweh wasn't. We got to add Yahweh in here somewhere. We got to change this. This ain't right. So they changed it. Avoidance of Yahweh in other chapters. There was a growing reluctance to pronounce or over, that's BS. This is evident in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Some people did it. You are right about that. But I don't think that's what we're dealing with here. See, he's given us all the different possibilities of why. These are all, isn't that what it says? Why is that? See, these are all different possibilities. It's explained by the following factors. But I'm thinking the redaction one. That's probably it right there. It was redacted. The preserved portions of Daniel 9 concern the presence of Yahweh. All right, let's go down here. Comparison with, I'm not going to read all this. The Greek translation of Daniel typically renders Yahweh as Kyrios. Right, that is correct. So when you read the Greek Septuagint, which was, that's the oldest New Testament we have, guys. There is no Hebrew. Okay, well, you have the Dead Sea Scrolls, but it's not complete. But really, the Greek Septuagint was the oldest. Okay, but in the Greek Septuagint, Yahweh is called the Kyrios. All right, Kyrios. So when you see Lord God in the English Bible, in the Greek it says, Theos Kyrios, right? But Kyrios means Lord, okay? And the word Kyrios is also in the New Testament. And guess who the Kyrios is in the New Testament? It's Jesus. It's not Yahweh. Yahweh is a hireling. All right, he's a hireling. He's that hireling. All right. The sheep did not hear his voice. The sheep did not listen to him. The sheep never listened to him because they did not hear his voice. They did not know him. The voice of Yahweh is the voice of a stranger, right? Ain't nobody following his crazy. Some bitch is crazy. I ain't following him. Also uses Kyrios, but yeah, Kyrios is in the New Testament, and the New Testament repeatedly says over and over again that the Kyrios is Jesus Christ. It says it over and over again. It never says Yahweh is the Kyrios. Okay. No evidence for Dead Sea Scrolls or later, whatever. The name Yahweh only appears in Daniel 9. Why is it only in Daniel 9? That's very weird. It's almost like they added it in. I'm not saying I believe in the book of Daniel. I do like the book of Daniel. It's probably one of my more favorite books. Daniel's in the Lion's Den. I mean, how can you not like Daniel? Like, let's be serious. So I asked him another question. So is it possible that the addition of the name Yahweh in the ninth chapter is the result of a redaction? Perhaps the name did not appear in the earliest version of Daniel. Yes, it is possible that the use of the name Yahweh in Daniel 9 could be the result of a redaction or a later compositional choice, and it's plausible that earlier versions of the book of Daniel might not have included Yahweh in this chapter or elsewhere. This hypothesis is grounded in scholarly discussions about the composition, redaction, and textual history of Daniel, particularly in light of his bilingual nature. Yeah, two languages. Historical context and the manuscript evidence. Let's explore this possibility systematically. So it's going to go through it. So yeah, Hebrew and Aramaic sections. The book of Daniel is written in two languages, Hebrew and Aramaic. It looks the same. It's kind of the same, but it's a little different. All right. So in Hebrew, where Yahweh appears 6 times in the ninth chapter. Right. In the Aramaic sessions, what language did Jesus speak, y'all? Quick, not Hebrew. The Aramaic sections consistently use more general divine titles like Most High, and Yahweh's absent. Right. Exactly, bro. This linguistic I cannot talk today, bro. This linguistic shift suggests possible different authors or redactors for the Hebrew and Aramaic portions, with Yahweh's use in chapter 9 reflecting a Hebrew redactor's preference. So that's all I'm saying. You guys think the Bible's never been changed, it's never been tinkered with, it's never been tampered with. Okay, like, come on, bro. This thing's been redacted left and right.